Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. Tonight, we're talking Global Grief Network, changing the way people see grief. My very special guest is no stranger to Conversations with Nicole. He actually is my cousin, Mr. Tony Lynch, who is joining us from the West Coast, from Colorado. And so I'm super excited and delighted to have Tony with me this evening. But before I bring him on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. Your comments, your questions are welcomed. As y'all can see, I'm still in Miami trying to make it home. So, but enjoying the time here with the parentals. But I want to hear from you. Let us know where you tuning in from. Put your city and state in the comments, and we will give you a shout out. This is an interactive live, so please like, please tag, please share with a friend. We're talking grief. Y'all know I don't think we grieve enough, and grief is not just for death, but for any loss that we have. So we're gonna be digging in. We're gonna talk about it. All right. I see my cousin Nora, who is in the VA. Thank you for joining us, Nora. Miss Janetta, who is here, who is in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. So I know we'll have some other folks joining us, but I'm going to go ahead and share Tony's bio. Tony Lynch is the founder of Memories of Us, a men's grief support organization, and the founder of the Global Grief Network. He also is the creator of the Global Grief Network app, the Grief Accomplice program, the Adventures of Grief Guide, and editor-in-chief of Grief Talk magazine. He is an international best-selling author, podcast host, conference host, guest speaker, and program designer. I don't know how he has time in the day because he does a lot of things, and he works a job outside of all of the work that he does with the Global Grief Network. After experiencing the loss of his son, parents, younger brother, and many close friends, his grief journey led him through a dark season that nearly ended in suicide. And through healing, education, and purpose, he transformed his pain into a mission to support others, especially men who are grieving in silence. Y'all, help me welcome Mr. Tony Lynch.
Hello, cousin. How you doing today?
I'm well, I'm well. Welcome, welcome. So glad to see you.
Yes, yes, and thank you for having me on your show
Absolutely.
again. Yeah,
My
it's my
pleasure.
second time.
Yes, it is. My pleasure. So tell the people who don't know you, who missed your last appearance on Conversations with Nicole, briefly, in your own words, who is Tony Lynch? Not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
Yeah, most definitely. I tell everybody, I'm just a poor boy from Virginia. I was born and raised in Newport News, Virginia, and from there, I kind of moved around to Washington D.C. Ended up in Colorado, and my journey has always been that of survival for the most part of my life, and finally got to a point in life where I decided I wanted to live, and that was short-lived with the loss of all of my family, well, most of my family, friends, son, brother, all of that good stuff. And led me, as Nicole said, led me down a path to where I almost took my life. And that's when the Creator, God, opened up my eyes to something of my life and showed me a path that I couldn't deny. and I've been on that path ever since then.
And been doing a wonderful job at that, right?
Mhm.
So you are a grief advocate, a grief I call you a grief guru because you really kind of curate these grief spaces via, the podcast, the magazine, the conference. Now you have an app coming out. So talk a little bit about, some of these projects that you have going on.
Yeah, it's that old saying, once you realize what your purpose is, you can no longer deny it, right? And
Hmm.
so that's where figured out where my purpose was. My purpose was to make a difference in the grief world and to help men like myself who have struggled through loss, find a way to navigate it, learn how to articulate it, but also learn how to heal for our families and our friends.
Yeah.
Always better for our communities when men come together to uplift the women and the children. We can create more leaders within our community. And
Hmm.
so, the grief field has been good to me. And I've always been the type of person that said, you know what? I need to explore every possibility of this gift that I have, which led me down the road to doing all the other things, like starting a magazine, starting a conference, starting my other organization, which is the Global Grief Network. And the list just kept going, and the book offers stuff started coming in, podcasting, all of that stuff. And I've just been having fun with it ever since then. And my goal is to help people not only find the support that they need, but also see grief in a way that is normal, right? Because
Hmm.
it is a part of life. If you haven't experienced it, you will,
Yeah.
So you might as well start having the conversations around it now, so people that you love don't have to guess what to do when the time does come. And
Gotcha.
so, these conversations are very important. I even host death cafes and things like that.
Wow. Okay. We're gonna have to talk about that one. All right. So we got some more folks that have joined us. We got Mr. Warren Cave in Tallahassee. Said good evening, Nicole, Everett family and friends. I'm ready for this conversation. I've been in grief for about 10 days. Oh wow. Sorry to hear that, Warren, but thank you for joining us. Sending you lots of love and light in this moment. Let's see. Mom is on. Thank you for being here, Mom. And cousin Denise, thank you for being
See,
here. This is Tony's aunt, who is my cousin. So thank you for
yeah.
being here, cousin Denise. All right. So I want to talk a little bit about as a man,
Hmm.
and you doing this work for men, and it is Men's Health Month. But as a man, how maybe challenging was it for you when you started this work to find language for what you were experiencing, the grief that you were experiencing?
It was extremely hard, to be honest with you, because for one, no one ever taught me how to grieve or taught me what grief was. Right?
Mm,
It was just I used to watch my aunts and uncles, grandmas, and things like that. If something was to happen, I used to always watch them. But most of the time, I was outside playing.
mm,
So we never got the chance to really have those conversations, and I never saw how people really dealt with it because in the area that we lived in, everybody just kept going on as if this is just life, right?
mm,
And so when I started going down this grief journey, it was very difficult because how do you tell someone who's never expressed emotions or anything like that it's okay to be emotional? It's
mm,
okay to be a human, right? And as a man, my mentality was, especially the life that I've lived, my mentality was, I'm going to destroy everything around me, right?
mm.
If I gotta hurt, you gotta hurt too,
Yeah.
right? And the realization was is that I can't rightfully do that if I was teaching my son not to do it. That
Mm,
makes me a hypocrite. I can't tell him that, that you can't go out here and do those things. And I turn around and do it just because life happens,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so through a lot of prayer, through a lot of grace and a lot of patience with me, I
Hmm.
was able to dive deeper into this thing called grief. And I
Mm,
wanted to learn so much about it, and which just led me down the road of being a student. And as a man, it was like, you know what? No one gets to tell me that I don't get to be human anymore.
Mm.
I'm a human being,
Wow.
and just like any other human being out there, I come equipped with these emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I have to learn what these emotions are, right? Being very specific about it. So frustration is different from sorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anger is different from irritation or anxiety. So
Yes.
learning how to be very, very specific about those things led me into a realm of just wanting to know more about it. So that's how I got into podcasting because I went, you know what? There's other people out there like myself. And I want to know how did they do it, you know? And that just led me down the road of just wanting to just do more and more for people because I told myself it's not about money, it's about legacy. It's
Mm-hmm.
about keeping a promise to a gift that was given to me that
Mm.
didn't have to be given to me. And
Wow.
so when God said, I need you to do this, I said, you just tell me what you need me to do and I'll get it done. So again, all of these things that I do, for me, it's just part of the process that I'm going through,
Mm.
right? Because these things will outlive me.
Yeah.
As I tell everybody, I got more years behind me than I could do in front of me.
Right.
So, with that being said, I'm here to build a legacy, something that's going to outlive me. You might not even remember my name, but you will remember the work,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's what's being of service to other people.
Yeah.
That's what that's called, right? Like it's not even about you. It's about the people that that you serve with the gift that you was given. And it's a very beautiful gift if people learn how to tap into it.
Yeah, for sure. So, we got a few more folks that have joined us and are commenting. Miss Tracy Gole, thank you for joining us. Miss Anita, I met her today. She gave me the most wonderful massage here in Miami. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And Warren, he said, I'm back and more serious. I miss my sister Nicole Everett. I'm right here, Warren. You ain't got to miss me. I see her. So the grief is over. Now, on to more serious note. It's so true, Mr. Lynch, that we need more leaders to. Let's see. Today, I met a guy at church that I was talking to that has been grieving deaths over the last 3 years, and he was crying so hard. I prayed and I tried, but I believe you could have helped. Oh, sometimes, thank you for sharing that, Warren, and
Yeah,
sending our thoughts and our prayers with this gentleman that you're referencing. I
yeah,
think sometimes the hurt um, from loss can be such a heavy burden to bear, right,
it can
Tony?
be.
That your heart can be broken and you physically can be just debilitated from it, right? You don't
Hmm.
want to move, you don't want to eat, you can't hardly sleep. And so, what would you say to someone that was, experiencing such a strong sense of grief, physically in their physical body, what they're feeling, emotional, in terms of their emotions, right? Um,
Yeah,
how what would you say to them?
man, that's a great question. I would say be patient with yourself. You don't have to have all the answers right now.
Hmm.
You don't, because if you try to figure it out, you're just going to keep bumping your head on certain things. When it comes down to the hurt that you feel, we're grieving the physical form of it. And it's really hard to see past that. I say, grieve the physical form, but always remember the life that you had with these individuals. You only had one time that changed everything.
Right.
Don't let that overrule everything else that you had with these individuals. It's worth smiling over. It's worth remembering and
Mm,
things like that. And it's hard when people are just starting off. So I'm not gonna even sugarcoat and make it seem like it's easy or anything like that because it is not.
mm,
And the one thing that I would love to say is that do not try to take someone else's advice about how you're going to grieve,
mm,
right? It is yours. It is yours. You need people that's going to hold space and allow you to grieve the way that you need to, right?
mhm,
Even if you don't understand it. If you can get up and just step outside 5 minutes and you go back in, that's enough for the day.
Mm-hmm.
You may not even feel like eating, but drink something, drink some fluids, because all the crying that you do, you're going to deplete yourself. You don't
Mm-hmm.
want those excess health problems, right?
Yeah.
Because those that can take you down a bad road too. But
Mm.
you know, I would say just take your time. The hurt, it sucks.
Yeah.
That hurt sucks. When I lost my son, um, it was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Hardest thing I've ever done, because he was 8 years old. As a matter of fact, his anniversary is tomorrow. It'd be 10 years tomorrow when he passed away, right?
Wow.
The crazy part about it is when he passed away 10 years ago, he passed away on Father's Day and my mom's birthday.
Mm.
So I
Oh,
had to call my mother while she's expecting me to give her a call for her birthday. And I have to tell her that her grandson just passed away.
yeah.
And I went, how do
That's
you do something like that? Right?
that's heart wrenching right there.
It is. But it was hard. It was so hard. And then 2 years after that, I lost my mother.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I'm not even over this one. And now I have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And of course, look, I went down that rabbit hole. I thought I was beating life by being strong, only
Mm-hmm.
to find out that I played right into the devil's hand.
Mm.
The devil said, "Oh, you thought you were strong, huh?" I say, "Oh, you can't do nothing to me," until I found myself sitting in the desert with a gun,
My
2 seconds
Lord.
away from pulling the trigger. And then I realized at that point in time when God came in and said, "Hey, let me show you something." I realized that I couldn't beat him, but I know somebody who can. And I need to
Mm.
follow that, because the path that you've given me, I now understand, and I have to be obedient to this. So as long as I remain faithful and obedient to the path, I
Yeah.
don't worry about anything else.
Wow. That is such an amazing story. So glad that you heeded his call to no, not
I didn't want to. I'm
not
not even gonna. I'm not even gonna fake like I did. I did not want to.
get it. I understand. Um, that that was your desire. That is what you thought that was maybe the best option or the best way out, right? So you wouldn't
Yeah,
have to maybe deal with the pain. But I'm here to tell you, you had a much greater purpose, and we needed what you have put out in the world. So we are definitely forever grateful.
I
We
appreciate that.
have, yeah, for sure. So we have some more folks that have joined us. We got Keith, the smooth healer. Thank you for joining us. He said, good evening. As your flow grows more than every healing breath. Yes, and yes. All right. Thank you for that. And he also said, I offer love and support and something like brother, sister, mate. Sister May, each breath amplify your mind's ability to trigger your deepest peace and comfort in your own unique way. More with every moment. Thank you so much. Warren said, Mr. Lynch, it is harder because the deaths were all unexpected. Is it harder or is it about the same? That's what I need to know.
Hmm. That is a great question. And since I've been able to experience both of them, I would say the unexpected ones are the ones that take your breath away,
Mm-hmm.
because they're unexpected, right? And when it happens, you're like, hold on. And you could, like, for me, being around my son the day before, he got sick, and then, right before he passed away, I never expected him to pass away. So when it happened, yeah, it took the breath out of me. When my mother passed away, I was there. I watched my mother transition. And
Mm-hmm.
so, although I knew what was going to happen, I was still hopeful that she would get better. But the reality of it was the mind and the heart never caught up to each other at that present point of time. So it's still hard to accept. And I would say in situations like that, it's truly the individual and your experience with that person, is how, which will often determine how you grieve or go through the process of grief.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Keith said like jerking the brakes in life, right?
Yeah, that's what it's like. Exactly like that. In a more simpler form, it's just like boom, and you hit your head on the dashboard, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're so focused on the bump on your head of hitting your head on the dashboard that everything else, no matter what happened, doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You still just focus on that one bump
Mm-hmm.
until you get a chance to actually slow down and everything really starts to lay itself out in front of you. And that's when the reality hits.
Yeah.
And that may take it may for some people it may happen sooner, and for some it may happen later.
Right.
It took me a long time to acknowledge the fact of that the people that I lost are not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to pick up the phone and call my mom or call my dad or see how my little brother was doing,
Mm-hmm.
to go in my son's room and get him up for school, right? I wanted so much to do those things, but the reality of it was when I picked up the phone, I realized that there was nobody going to be on the other end.
Yeah.
When I went into my son's room, I realized that I was just going to a room that had a bed in it,
Mm-hmm.
still had his memories in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's grief is one of those things you cannot predict how it's going to go and
Mm-hmm.
everything because it is individual.
It is. So, Sharice has joined us in the Atlanta area. Thank you for being here. We have Joni Lyons. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. And Letitia, who is in Tallahassee. Happy Mindset Monday to you, Letitia. Thank you for being here. Let's see. So, Keith said, I dream of my mom still.
Hmm.
Yeah. Again, so I'm extending much comfort and peace and love in this moment for everyone who has experienced a loss, whether that's of a loved one or of hopes, dreams, aspirations that either were lost or were not fulfilled. So, because again, loss is just difficult all the way around.
Mm.
Uh, Warren said the next question I have is why these cause anger to the point of violence. The guy today said he gets so angry that the guy today said he gets so angry that he fights, goes in and out
Hmm.
of jail, etc. He has burned bridges.
Hmm. I can definitely answer that because that used to be my go-to as well. And for most men, this is our go-to because the language of anger is what most men understand,
Mm-hmm.
right? Men, since we're not taught how to express ourselves, we express ourselves the best way that we know how. If I'm hurting, you have to hurt too. And so, only thing when those things happen, and this is not a straight fact or anything like that, but for me, when I got into those modes and I was angry, I resorted back to what I knew, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the fight, right? Survival mode. Survival mode will put you will rule over everything every single time when you're in a vulnerable situation, because for one, we're told to stay strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order for me to keep up that facade, I have to still show you that I'm strong, that I'm still willing to go upside your head, right? It's probably not the best answer. It's not going to be the best answer, but
Yeah.
until you understand the language that men speak when we grieve, is going to be the answer that you perceive that it is. If you could look past that anger, you'll see hurt.
Hmm.
Anger often shields hurt,
Yeah.
right? So since I can't show you how I hurt, or I can't express to you the pain that I feel, I can show you with these.
Mm.
There's we all read comic books when we were kids, right? Watched Fantastic Four and things like that, right?
Right.
There was one that really taught me a lesson about a couple of years ago when I was watching it, because I'm a big kid. I still love cartoons and stuff like that,
Okay.
and I was watching the Avengers
Mm-hmm.
and Fantastic Four, and there was a scene in there where Johnny Storm was killed, and Johnny Storm was Thing's friend, right? He was the Thing's friend,
Mm-hmm.
and Thor ended up bringing Hulk over to the Thing, and instead of trying to tell the Thing that everything was going to be okay, he understood the language, so he stood up there and let the Thing beat him up. Afterwards, they all hugged each other and they sat down and actually understood the unspoken word of that. right?
Mm.
What's understood, what's spoken don't need to be understood,
What's spoken doesn't need to be understood.
right? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be understood. It doesn't need to be explained. I knew
Mm,
what you needed. I knew that this anger inside of you is how you're going to express yourself. So I'm willing and I'm strong enough to take that from you because
mm,
I know that this is the only thing that's going to make sense to you. On the outside looking in, it looks very, very chaotic, but you're still on the outside looking in. That's
yeah,
it. You're
yeah.
you're not understanding the situation. And when it comes down to men, this is one of those things. And I work with men from around the world. I work with close to 20,000, 20 to 30,000 men worldwide, right?
Wow.
Groups and things like that. I'm working with these guys, and I hear that it's the same conversations over and over. I'm just so angry, right?
Mm,
Because no one understands what I'm going through, and I
mm-hmm,
just want to just break it up because I just need you to understand, right? And I say, hold on, before you put that on someone, how about you write it down first?
mm,
Right? You may not be able to verbalize it, but you can write it down
mm-hmm.
and you give it to someone that's close to you so they can have a better understanding of how to hold space with you,
Yeah.
right? Because for one, if you keep holding it in, you're going to end up in the hospital or you're going to end up in jail because not everybody likes to be a punching bag. I don't care how close you are, right? And so
Well,
you're either going to end up in jail or in the hospital. You choose one or the grave. Choose
you,
one.
you are right. You are right. Let's see. Keith talked about gotta direct the feeling somehow, which is
Mhm.
exactly what I think you are talking about. You said it's
Yeah.
not easy though,
No.
but it does need to be done. He mentioned giving it color, shape, or texture as a suggestion. So yeah, Keith sound like he been dealing in this grief space as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I appreciate those comments. Got a few more folks that have joined us. Miss Kesey, thank you for being here. Tammy, thank you for joining us. And Mr. Joseph Ward, Mr. On the Shoulders of Giants himself. Thank you for joining us. Happy Monday. Janetta, I did see your comment from earlier. She said, I remember days of waking up with fear and
Hmm.
afraid. Yes,
Hmm.
thank you for sharing, Janetta. She said, it feels like a hole was punched in the middle of my heart when my daughter died, and now I'm
Yeah.
adapting to the hole. The strength and resilience I have is beyond my comprehension because it hurts so deep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that people don't understand, especially someone who's, have joined this community of child loss. No one
Mm,
understands the depth of the hurt that it really has on you, right? It's
yeah.
so deep that it doesn't go anywhere. And you could
Mm,
do everything that you can. You can numb it with alcohol or drugs or anything, but the only thing is that's going to happen because it's trying to come out. It's trying to is it's really your body knows what you need to do. It's trying
mm,
to come out, and the more and more you suppress it because you're too afraid of people judging you,
mm-hmm.
right? And things like that, that you tend to do more, right? Oh, I got this temporary release. Let me do a little bit more of this. Let me do a little bit more of that, right?
Mm,
And eventually, it will find its way out,
yeah.
and I love the fact that Keith said healing strategies in general, right?
Mm,
And there's so many different tools that you can use out there that we need to understand that, art, music, yoga, meditation, all of these different things are just tools that you're able to use to
yeah.
aid you, but you have to know what's going to work for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the biggest thing. You have to know what's going to work for you, because if you
Yeah.
don't know what's going to work for you, you're constantly going to be throwing, trying to grab onto what Tom said, what Harry said, what Dick said, and all of these different things. And you have to understand that they're only speaking from their perspective.
Yeah. For
What
sure.
worked for them is not going to work for you. What worked for me is not going to work for you, right? So my goal is to say, let's hold this space and allow and give you some tools so you are able to figure out what works for you.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
I'm not here to give you answers. I'm just here to give you things that can help guide you in the direction that you're looking to go in.
Hmm.
That's
So,
it.
so Keith gave an example. He said, now in the future, as your life feels heavy, press your thumb and finger once as calm and comfort builds twice as calm and comfort deepens more with every healing press. Yes and yes. I, there are a number of things. Janetta actually has been on the show. She is versed in tapping as a
Hmm.
modality, and so there's there are a whole host of things, and we're talking
Yes.
healthy solutions,
Yeah.
or healthy modalities that can be used. Um, if to help you help us as we grieve, right?
Yes.
So we are, let me pause here, we're a little more than halfway through our talk. So for those of you who are just tuning in, we're talking Global Grief Network, which actually the Global Grief Network is the name of Mr. Tony Lynch's network. And changing the way people see grief is the topic of our discussion. And so emotional freedom tapping, thank you for
Hmm.
giving me the clarity for that. I appreciate
EFT.
that. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Keith mentioned a heavy use. He uses the color breathing method and anchoring mostly. Yes,
Hmm.
somatic soothing techniques.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Tammy, she mentioned missing my mother in the physical. I had to have a birthday dinner with my mother to start living with her in the spirit. Nice. I know a number of people that pay tribute to their loved ones that have transitioned on by speaking their names on a regular basis.
Hmm.
And so, that is another way that people deal and navigate those waves of grief.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So, yes, by all means, use all of that
Yeah.
to help you.
Often suggest to people, find yourself an anchor.
Mm,
It's just like when they say, when you're venturing off in entrepreneurship, your why has to be bigger than everything else, because without that, you're going to stop, right? Well,
mm,
those rules still apply, even in grief. Find
yeah.
yourself an anchor, find yourself the reason to want to get up the next day, and hold on to it. Just hold on to it just for a little bit longer, right?
Mm,
And even when you're feeling down or something like that, say their name. Do
mm,
something that reminds you of them, not of the loss. One of the things I do, I still love going to the park and climbing trees. I love climbing trees, right? Me and my son used to do it all the time. I go over there, I climb the tree, I climb up to the top, and I watch the kids play on the playground.
mm,
Brings me joy to watch those kids that I've known for quite some time grow up, right? Because I don't get the chance to see mine grow up. So I love watching other people. Just because I lost my son doesn't mean that I don't care about these other children,
mm,
or their families and things like that. Um, and so that's my anchor. That's my why. Whenever I think about my mom or my dad or anything like that, or anyone that I've lost, my grandmothers, I always think of the things that they taught me, the
yeah.
words that they used to say to me when I was a kid. Hey, little man, it's gonna be okay. Hey, little
Mm-hmm.
man, tomorrow the sun's still gonna shine. You still got to get up, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Those things like that, reflecting back on those things, helps out a great deal. And again, these are things that work for me.
Yeah.
These are things that work for me, which again, those are things that I apply in everything that I do, from the
Mm-hmm.
conferences to the magazine to the app to everything that I do. I
Yeah.
apply those lessons that I've learned, but also incorporating um, the memories of those that I've lost, because again, it's not about me, it's about the people that I serve, but I
Mm,
can still build a legacy with their memory in it, right? People don't have to know that. Now they probably do, but I incorporate those losses, I incorporate those great memories into everything that I do, and I go, if I was in this situation, what would be a benefit to me,
yeah.
right? What and who,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, no, that's a way that you can definitely carry them with you. So,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
honor them, right? So, Letitia, she said, "Thank you. This conversation's on time. I was suppressing grief emotions. Our
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you for being here and receiving this conversation."
Mhm.
Keith said, "Is there a color related to your deepest peace and comfort? First impression." He says, "You are still capable of love. Definitely. You can only squeeze it down so much. Um, I think of it as pressure on a spring, and I sub, be careful. You may heal without even thinking about it. Yes, and yes. Okay. Thank you."
Mhm.
So I want to talk a little more. I know we kind of glossed over it some, but I want to talk more about all of these things that you are involved in. So, I mean, you do a grief conference, right?
Mhm. I
So
have for 5 years.
talk about
So
the grief conference.
yeah, so I started the Global Grief Conference back in 2021. We just did our fifth year this year, and when I first got on social media, because I wasn't on social media for quite some time, I was like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to raise my son, right? And so when I got on social media, I realized there was a whole lot that I didn't know, but I knew what I wanted to do. And so here I am, this young man, and I have this bright idea that I'm a men's grief coach. When I go out here, I'm about to blow this thing out the water because I'm going to be the next hottest thing moving. Right?
Mm,
That's what I was thinking to myself. Only to get into it, and I got pretty much got my butt whipped. I realized I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah,
Uh,
okay.
which was a good thing. Which what wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing. And so for the longest time, I struggled, and then finally, you go through so many no's, you just put your head down and you
Mm,
say, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, and regardless of if anybody accepts me or not, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do this. And so over a period of time, I realized I started meeting all of these amazing people in the grief field.
mm,
And, and I was so intrigued with that. Now the problem was is that everybody is on social media, but no one's working together, right?
mm,
The networking is not there, the collaboration is not there. So me being who I am, I went, you know what? There has to be a way to bring these people together.
okay.
So in 2020, at the end of 2020, I talked to some buddies of mine. I said, you know what? I want to do a global grief conference. I know all of these individuals. Wouldn't it be cool to have these individuals come up and share their stories and their experience to help other people? But
Mm,
our ulterior motive was, wouldn't it be okay? Wouldn't it be cool if all of these people actually had the chance to meet one another, right? And it did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It opened up the doors, and that's gave birth to the Global Grief Conference in 2021,
mm-hmm,
and led to the Global Grief Network shortly after because people was like, I love this, man. Like so many people. And so I went, you know what? Why not? So
yeah.
that's what I did. I built it. So everything just kind of fell into place, right? And
Mm-hmm,
through podcasting, because I met most of these people through podcasting anyway. And I went, how is it that I know everybody and y'all don't? Y'all
mm.
do the same thing.
Because you
I
the
was like,
connector. You the
well,
connector.
I wasn't trying to be the connect. I really wasn't. I was just trying to open up the doors for people to know who's out there and that if you really wanted to grow and do good things, you have the opportunity to do it.
Mm, okay.
So don't look past your gift and the opportunities that it provides for you. Embrace it, become submissive to it, and allow your gift to manifest itself into the world. You're your only limit when it comes to that, right?
Mm-hmm,
So I've always looked at it that way.
okay.
And over a period of time, the Global Grief Network started growing. I started meeting so many more people, and I just started inviting them to the group. And
Mm,
then I look at everything and I went, you know what? There's a mental health magazine. There's a recovery magazine. There's all of these different things, right? And I went, there's no grief magazine. So
mm-hmm,
I started Grief Talk magazine. And just out through my imagination. I knew what I wanted to do. Wasn't had no idea how I was going to do it. I just knew what I was going to do. So I
nice.
did.
Okay.
I went, if I can do it, I know you can. right? And so that's how that happened.
Okay.
So Grief Talk Magazine, we're on our 11th edition, coming up in September and things like that.
Congratulations.
And thank you, thank you. And then from there, um, I started thinking, I said, all of these apps out here, you have mental health, you have recovery, all of these different things, but there's nothing for
Mm,
grief.
nothing for
And
grief.
so I had been teaching myself how to code. So coding for dummies and things like that, people that most people won't even think about. I started thinking about it. I wonder if the worst thing that can happen is I fail. But
Mm,
I this is something that I want to do because this is going to offer so much more opportunity for people to
mhm,
find the support that they need. So when AI came around and I'm already into coding, I'm already have this idea. I said, you know what? You're not going to get past AI. But I don't want AI to be the solution. I want it to be a connection. And so I created the very first ever hybrid app that came along with that, where I was actually able to incorporate the image of my son within this app. So again, you know
wow.
what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm like, okay, even his name is Jake, right? And
Wow.
so I was like, okay, cool. And so from there, my imagination just ran wild. I said, well, if I'm going to create an app, I need support rooms, chat rooms, and everything. So I created over 33 chat rooms. So we have everything from widow loss all the way down to first responders. If there's a group that you're looking for, I have it in there. And it's a live chat. You can chat with anywhere across the world. And so then I started looking at the problems. I said, okay, there, I have to address the language gap because not
Mm,
everybody speaks Spanish, not everybody speaks Mandarin or Cantonese. So I
mhm.
incorporated a language translator into it.
Wow.
Okay, do that. So now people have the opportunity to, even if you're in China or Thailand or something like that, you come in, you press the translate, it translates the whole app. And if you're looking for a practitioner, it will actually translate the language that you're looking for and convert it into the language that the practitioner speaks. So I eliminated the age that language gap, right?
Yeah, the
And
language
that's where
barrier.
that language, yeah, that language barrier, right? And so I went, you know what? What else can I do? What's going to be something that's going to add value to this app? So I incorporated music. I do my own music, and being someone who is a griever, right? I'm never going to stop grieving. That's the one thing I want people to understand. I may be healing, but I will always grieve my family members, and it's not a bad thing. It's a human thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to for me to look at people as human beings instead of um, um, assets,
Yeah.
so to speak. And I
So
said,
So let me
"Good,
let me pause you for one moment. Janetta offered this comment. She said there are many ways to continue the bond with our loved ones every day, saying good morning,
yes,
cook their favorite meal, listen to a song that they enjoyed. She says 6 years after losing my daughter, I am a bereavement counselor with a local agency. It wasn't my plan, it's the God in me.
there you
Yes.
go.
Thank you
I
for
can
sharing.
relate to that so much, so
Mhm.
much. And that's again seeing people or hearing the stories that like Jeanette or Mr. Smooth and everything is the reason why I keep doing what I'm doing because
Mm,
these individuals inspire me to
yeah.
be better. Like I'm not trying to be the best. I'm not trying to be better than anyone else. I just want to be the best at what I do. That's it.
Mhm.
No more, no less. I'm not competing with nobody. I'm not trying to stand in nobody's way, and definitely, I'm not trying to take nothing from nobody. I am here to add value to everybody else's life, and that's been my basis of everything.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter to me the money. It's the
Mhm.
purpose that I live for,
Yeah.
right? It's
No,
the
that's
purpose that I live for. It's what I'm called to do.
mhm.
So, and like we talked about this before, you can't give me nothing that I don't already have.
Mhm.
My my riches is in heaven.
Mm.
They're not here on earth. What
Mhm.
I do here on earth is to help others be able to understand that their riches are still there. You still have
Yeah.
the opportunity to connect with it if you do so choose. And
Mm.
if you don't know how, I can connect you with someone who can guide you to that, right?
Mm.
And so that's been um, the name of the app is the globalgriefnetwork.com.
Yes.
So you put that in, you can go straight there. It's an app for members as well as practitioners. So, and that's another beautiful thing about it too. So I created for practitioners. So if you go in, fill out a practitioner's application, it creates a practitioner card for you, which makes it easier for when members come in or they're looking for someone. The AI would direct you to it as long as your experiences are there. So, say for instance, if I needed somebody to help me out with suicide loss, right? I have practitioners in there. You don't have to do the search. I took the guesswork out for you. You
Mm-hmm.
can connect with them, right? And so it was beautiful. And I looked at the practitioners and I said, you know, we have to come up with a way because you are valuable. People don't look at what we pour into this. They just look at maybe sometimes they just look at it like this because I've heard this too many times. They look at things like that and say, "Oh, you're just trying to take advantage of me." Well, no, we're not, because it's a give thing, right? You're trying to take advantage of me for what I know. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it took for me to get here. You
Right.
don't know the pain that I had to go through and the healing that I had to do in order to get here,
Hours of
right?
research and study and so on and so forth.
Right, right. And
Yes.
the lived experience, the healing, the things that we had to address to be better human beings for you, right?
Yep.
So don't look at your grief practitioner or your bereavement counselor or anything like that and think that they're taking advantage of you,
Mm,
because one, we were in the same shoes that you're in, and oftentimes we're still in that same shoe, right? Because as we grow as practitioners, as counselors, and as grief therapists, we still go through the grieving process. We still go through our triggers. We still, we never get a break because people always look at that and go, "You have the answers." They
mm,
never say that maybe Tony or maybe the other person needs a break. Let me go and hold space for them as well. Right.
mm,
So no one ever thinks about that. They always want what we have to carry. I have no problems with giving it to you. My goal is to be empty by the time I leave here. I
mm.
have no desire to leave this place full. None.
Okay.
I
Yes.
want to be, when I go there, I want to look as if when I stand in front of God, I want to go, see, I got nothing else left, man. You
Nothing
know,
left. Nothing left. I heard
I
that.
got nothing else left for you.
Nothing.
That I left it all here the way that you commanded me to do. I left it on the table for you, right?
Agree.
And
Agree.
and so I took those experiences, and that's how I came up with a complete app. And I
Oh,
said, you know what? This right here, this right here is going to help change the way people see grief and also find grief support, right?
yes.
Somebody took the time to think about, not only not assume, but really put things together that's going to be a beneficial benefit to you, right? Connect you with other people that are going through the same things that you're going through, right? No matter
Absolutely.
who you are in the world, that's what it's there for.
All right.
um
So
and
it's the Global Grief Network,
yeah,
and right, and they can
it's
go
the
to their app store or
they
you
can just go, if you put it in Chrome, you can go straight to it. It's globalgriefnetwork.com.
okay.
So yeah, you have to put that in. Not duh. This is
Oh,
globalgriefnetwork.com.
global. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's globalgriefnetwork.com. You can go there and find it. And we're just now pushing it out of its beta stage right now. So July 1st, it will be open to the public. I advise people to go there, check it out. A lot of the functions are locked right now because I'm still fine tuning those things and everything. So I go in there every day to make sure that everything is up to par.
Okay.
So come July 1st, it's going to be out in the open. Go there and check it out. And connect with other people. You don't have to find practitioners. The practitioners are there. The guesswork you don't have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a directory for you, right? That's going to connect you with the right person as long as you let it know what you need, right?
Okay.
So if you was to come in and say, I need someone who specializes in parental loss, it will go through the directory and pull out the best ones, no matter where you are, and connect you to them,
Got it. All
right?
right.
And so, yeah, I took out the guesswork on that one.
You took out the guesswork. Love it. So I've, done a little bit of uh testing of the site, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So Definitely, y'all use that as a resource, especially if you have a particular grief counselor or professional that you are looking for a particular
Thank
type of
you.
grief, right?
Thank
Which
you.
is really why we have Tony on here today to talk about all of this, right? Because this is when he's built this app himself. He's not a developer per se by practice or trade, but he has taught himself how to do this work.
Yeah.
Um, so and I think he's had a good time doing it, I would say.
I've
And
had a blast, even through the frustrating moments when I'm like, I thought it was supposed to work and it doesn't work, and I have to go back in and figure out why it's not working. So,
mm,
I have over 200 hours within this app myself.
wow.
Just trying to figure out the codes and things like that. Because I wanted to know how it operated from inside out, and
Mm-hmm.
so that was my main goal. That was my goal. Just like with my graphic novel, The Adventures of Grief Guide, right? I
Mm-hmm.
started that because my son used to always tell me when he was a kid, Dad, I want to go into the military. I want to be a sniper so I can help those that can't help themselves. I said, okay, well, this is things that we need to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
never got the chance to see him grow older. So I used my imagination, came up with this character, Jake, and it's still my son's name.
Yes.
Um, and yes, you can always go there, test it out, and try. Please have fun with it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make it very reasonable. So for members that go into it, it's only $9 a month, $90 a year. So if you go with a year, you get 2 months free, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only $90 a year. For practitioners, it's $19 a month, and it's $190 a year. So again, I did all of that to be able to help other people out. But also the money that you will spend for those memberships and things like that help us be able to set up more retreats and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also to be able to keep the app functioning, and be able to let it grow with you as well. So, I don't mind putting in the time and the effort, as long as people tell me what you need.
Yeah.
I can be like, okay, if I get enough people, I go, okay, this is a need. Let me
Mm,
add this in there, right? So it's always room to grow with us,
indeed.
be a part of something that's universal, but also is something that offers a deeper connection with other people. Connect with people that you don't know, right? Learn something from them.
For sure.
Yeah,
Um,
learn something.
so let me go back. Nora asked about information on freedom tapping. Tony, I don't know if you have any information on that, but I'm going to holler at Janetta. So, Janetta, if you have some additional information on that, put it in the chat, please, if you don't mind, if you're
Mhm.
still with us. And I got to give a shout out to Dr. K, who's joined us. She said, love it. And
Thank you.
Denise James, who was asking about being a tester. This is amazing. Both of them are in Tallahassee. Thank you, ladies, both for being here. So, we are actually coming close to the end of our chat, but I know you have your graphic novel, which is The Adventures of Grief Guide, but you have turned that
Mhm.
into a full feature film. So please,
Yes.
it,
So it's funny how that came about. So the Adventures Grief Guy came of I started using my imagination, and I said, what if I can take this character and just put him in situations to where he's a drifter, right? He's a drifter. Ever since, I'm not gonna give too much on the story, but I will say that
it's
there's
fine.
a lot of things that's going on, right? So um, his father was Delta Force. Um, and his mother was murdered by a serial killer as long as with his fiance and unborn child, right? And so Jake was in the military when he came out, and his father found the serial killer, kills him, and goes to jail over that. So his father got life. So now Jake is so I'm laying out the storyline so you know what to expect, but just a little bit,
Okay,
okay?
just a little bit.
So Jake goes down this path of darkness where he's womanizing, drinking, drugging, and things, fighting all the time, and this, that, and another. And he finally gets to a point to where he's ready to give up. So
Mm,
he's visited by this angel Azazel, and that's where the contract is formed. And so he goes. He's not allowed to have a home. He's not allowed to be attached to anyone or anything. But
mm-hmm.
he gets on the road and he ends up in these crazy places, and he realizes that this is what I'm here for. I'm here for little Susie, that's being abused by her dad, or I'm
Mm,
here for Miss Timmy who just lost her whole entire family to a car accident. And I take these stories and I just have fun with them, right?
yeah.
But the lessons are there. The
Mm,
lessons are there, and the same concept applies. He's not there to give you solutions. He's there to hold space to help you find what works for you, right?
okay.
So
I
that's
got
always
that.
been my thing. I don't have the solution for you, but I can hold space to help you. And
Mm-hmm.
so the novel, so with the movie, um, it was one of those things. I was doing a podcast one day, and someone said, Tony, when are you going to do the movie for the Adventures of Grief Guy? Well, I didn't know if I had that many fans, but yeah, I guess I can do it, right?
Right.
And so my wild thinking was, why not? Why
Okay.
not do it, right? Oh, the worst thing that can happen is I fail. Okay, so
Right.
what? So what? I'm gonna
And
do it anyway.
and so movie is coming out when?
August 10th on my birthday of this year, 2026.
August 10th. And where can folks find that?
It's going to be on the Adventures Grief Guy YouTube channel, but I'm also going to live stream it across all the platforms as well. So,
Okay.
if you're following me or something like that, or, if you're not following me, you just want to tune in, you can tune in. It's free,
All right.
but it's something that's going to be fun for everyone. And, hopefully that leads into more sequels and things like that, because I have more things that I'm going to be adding in, and, whole different other paths to this story, things like that. And hopefully people enjoy.
You amaze me, sir. I don't know how you do all of this, but you do. So we got plenty of options in terms of how we can tap into the grief cadre of things that you offer, from conference to podcast to graphic novel to app to uh now movie film. So just a lot going on, but
In the
again,
magazine, so I try to
and
keep people up to
magazines.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a lot of things. So I want to give you an opportunity to give some closing remarks and tell the folks how they can connect with you.
Yes, most definitely. If you want to connect with me, I'm on Facebook as Tony Lynch. If you're a practitioner, you're looking for a home, I have the Global Grief Network. There it is, a private group. So, come on by, come check us out. And I'm on IG as Ms. Grief Support. Um, I am on LinkedIn as Tony Lynch as well. So you guys can connect with me up there. You can go to my website, memoriesofus.com, and so those are the ways that you can really get a hold of me. How can I subscribe to the magazine? um, you don't have to subscribe to the magazine, Miss Hughes. I will send you a copy of it if that's something that you want. Just follow me on one of the social medias and tap into my DM. I will send it to you free of charge. So if you go to the app, I do charge for it in the app. Okay,
Mm,
so it's like 6.99 for that as well. But I feature articles from practitioners from around the world. They get to share their stories, things like that. I keep people up to date on the technology that's being introduced, whether if it's good or bad. We have a cooking section in there. We have letters to loved ones, so people send in letters that they've written to their loved ones, and I able to share that with other people as
mm,
well. There's I highlight other podcasts too, right? People that are out there doing some amazing things in the podcast world. I'm like, let me showcase you.
yeah.
No, I don't want your money. I just want to be able to bring people to your show.
Mm,
Yeah, so it's called Comfort Cooking for the Grieving. And so one of the things that I found out is that food is a great connector.
yes, it is.
And you can't find me on LinkedIn. Look up Tony Lynch. Tony Lynch, TonyLynch. I am on LinkedIn. But yeah, I started thinking about those things, and I said, you know what? This is pretty cool. This is pretty amazing. See, I'm like a big kid, cousin. I'm like a big kid. When I start doing these things, I'm going, wow, man, like this is really cool. So I'm always excited for the next step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and like I tell people, every time I turn around, I have a different idea. So even when I get done with all of this, I'm going to be developing a game. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how I'm going to do it. I just know that's what I'm going to do. So guess what? I have a lot of books over here that I'm going to be reading on how to develop a game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens.
Yes. Yes.
we- We're just gonna see what happens.
I can just imagine. I can just imagine.
All I have is my imagination.
Indeed.
That's all I have is my imagination, the creativity that God gave me to say, you know what? Don't be stifled by your own limitations. You
Well,
know, um,
you have put that to work for sure.
I'm just not starting. I'm just not starting. As long as the good Lord says that I can get up the next day, that's another day for me to go out here and say, you know what? What else can I do to help someone else out?
Yes.
Right? And if they can get some amazing value out of it, then when I leave this place, I know that I've done a good job. I know that I've done something for someone else, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
reason being is because you know what? When you don't have too many people around you that are still living, you have to look at the energy that the people that have gone have left with you, and you realize that they're still encouraging you to go out there and be the best version of yourself that you can be. So I can look back and I can say, hopefully, I'm making you proud, mom, dad, my brother, my son, all of my friends who didn't make it.
Indeed. You
I
are.
want to make sure that I'm making you proud, but also I want to look at my father and say, did I not serve you?
Yeah.
Did I not serve you the way that you commanded me to? There was I not obedient to the path and the gift that you gave me? Did I not keep the faith even when I was down and out? And I
Mm,
tell people this, if I could leave people this, if you think that what I'm doing is amazing or inspirational, let me tell you something. You have something that I never had. You have an advantage over me. I did all of this while I was homeless.
mm,
I did it all while I was homeless, broke, okay, and still dealing with all of these things. So if you have anything that that you can hold on to that because I'm not special. I'm
mm,
not. I'm just determined and I'm creative, but I'm also resourceful. And if you're ever waiting for money to come along, let me tell you something. You don't have to. There's ways that you can do it. There's
yeah.
always ways that you don't let me outwork you.
Mm,
Your imagination is the key to everything that you're doing. If you
mm,
hit your head on that glass ceiling, that's you.
yeah.
That glass ceiling, because you can see exactly what's on top of you. Focus on that. Don't worry about the glass. The glass is you can eventually, when you reach your hand over, you'll be able to slide that over. And there's
Mm-hmm.
another level that you can go to. And so no, don't look.
Well,
You there
go ahead.
the people are so full of creativity and blessings that I don't want people to look past that and stunt yourself, right?
Mm,
Like I said, I did all of mine while I was homeless. You already got the advantage over me.
yeah.
You
Well,
already got the advantage over me.
we appreciate what you have done. And I think Dr. K has found you on LinkedIn, so she'll be connecting with you. Um, so folks are chiming in because Denise said this was amazing, was an amazing topic.
Thank you,
Uh,
Auntie.
yes, 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 yes. Anita, great. Let's see. And Denise said, I need to learn this way of tapping in. I let grief and procrastination consume me. So, Denise, you are not the only one. Just know that you are not alone, and there is a community out there that is waiting to connect with you. So, tap in. I mean, tap into
Yeah,
the resources that have been provided. Connect with Tony. Connect with his community.
yeah,
Um, yeah, on those sites and places where he is. All right. She said, I have to let imagination take several back seats. I am inspired to really sit with God and allow the gifts to be stirred up.
yeah.
Amen. Very
That is
good.
the key to it. Don't be the reason, don't you be the reason that your gifts don't manifest itself into the world because the
Mm,
world needs the gifts, just like it leads everyone else. Your purpose is the reason why you're here. Don't
mm,
look past that. It can
yeah.
be a blessing to someone else. You may not see it at the moment, But man, if you allow yourself to go down that path, it's so beautiful
It
because you
is.
can see the world differently. It may be full of hurt and pain and things like that, but you get to see the beauty that comes out of it when you see a person stand up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when you see a person stand up in their own self and reclaim their soul and their strength, you have no idea the satisfaction that you will feel, and you don't even have to say a word to those individuals, right?
Yes.
You do that, and then you move on to the next one. You're not meant to be in one spot with one person. Go to the next one that can benefit from the gift that you carry, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not yours. So what you holding on to it for? It's not yours.
Right, right.
Give it out.
Yeah,
Give it
got
out.
you gotta use that gift for good.
Yeah, use it.
So Nora said this was so good. Didn't know my family had all these amazing things going on with him. Yes, yes, yes. This is your cousin Tony in Colorado. So we definitely
Okay, so
have
we
to get
definitely gotta
together again.
connect,
Sure.
connect with them. I would love to.
Absolutely. So listen, I definitely gotta invite those who may not be subscribers to Conversations with Nicole to subscribe. We're here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focused on mental health and wellness. Today's topic has been grief, which again I say all the time, we don't talk about it enough. So I'm so grateful, Tony, that you came on and shared your knowledge, shared the things that you have going on, the tools, the tips, the techniques, as relates to uh, changing the way that we see grief. So keep doing the great work. And I hope that this has benefited you all, the listeners, the viewers. Please share this with others that you think can benefit from this conversation. And I hope it caused you to look at grief from a different way, a different perspective. And again, there's some tools, some resources that you can tap into with Mr. Tony Lynch. So Denise said, what a blessing. Tammy came on late, but I really enjoyed. Wonderful. Thank y'all so much. Listen, y'all be safe. Have a good rest of the evening, and we
Yes.
will see y'all next time. Thank you, Tony. All
Thank
right.
you.
See y'all later. Bye
Guys,
bye.
many blessings to you. Hopefully I'll be hearing from you. And hopefully I can help you out if you need to, or even connect you with other people.
Absolutely. Check out the Global Grief Network. All